If you're looking for distinctive architecture, an unparalleled blend between luxury and comfort, with breathtaking panoramic views in the mountains, then this cabin could be just for you. I'm Tim, and welcome to the Luxury Home Show. Tucked away in the heart of Norway, Gaggenau offers a destination that's quietly capturing the attention of those in the know. Once a well-kept secret, it's now being discovered by more and more visitors searching for something different from the traditional alpine resorts. Here, winter lasts longer. Reliable snows arrive in November and stretches all the way through to Easter, creating a season built for skiers, families, and those who simply love the mountains. But Gaggenau is more than just a winter's escape. This is a place designed for year-round living, where outdoor life continues long after the snow melts. And for those looking to make it their own, Gaggenau offers the rare opportunity to own a luxury cabin where mornings begin on the slopes and evenings end beside the fire, surrounded by uninterrupted mountain views. Welcome to Norway. If, like me, this is your first time here, then you are in for a real treat. Behind me is the LHM 9 Max cabin, and it comes to the market at just over £3.5 million. Now, before we dive into having a real look around, come with me, because I want you to take a look at this. Just look at that sunset. Look at that uninterrupted view. Just imagine waking up every day and having this as your view, as having this as the backdrop to your house. Now, the cabin is actually 391 metres square and it sits on a plot of 1,600 square metres. There are 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2 of which are ensuite, and there's also an additional WC as well. There's also a 97 metre square terrace with a jacuzzi and a double garage, which is a little bit of an understatement. It's more like a showroom, which is why we've got something a little bit special for you. Now, it's getting a little bit cold out here, so why don't we take a look inside and see what this place has really got in store. Come on. Now we've come inside the cabin and you can clearly see this stunning, visually striking architectural design of this glass panelled wall, breaking that barrier between this entrance hallway and that 2-car garage or showroom. And that's why we had to go with that Ferrari Pura Sangue, which really almost allows you to have a rolling piece of artwork inside your own home. Now, there are a couple of extra little hidden special features inside that garage, so we're going to have to go and take a deeper look at those. And you get to that garage through this door here. Now, we've come into the garage, and the first thing that I really need to address is just that word, garage. You can't really call this a garage. It really is more of a showroom. I mean, for a start, you've got underfloor heating in the garage to look after your luxury car. But if you actually take a look around, it does look like they've spent more time in paying attention to the fine details in here than you might see in many other cabins. For example, if you actually look at the wood, the fact that you've got those different size and thickness planks, but yet they're completely uniform the entire way around. The fact that you've got these large, oversized, solid beams at the back, which are crying out to be dressed with your Ferrari memorabilia. But as you move around the garage, you can see that they've really tried to focus and think about how can they tie in all of those natural materials that are so kind of important in this actual design for this particular cabin. That's where I really like the fact that they've kept this Norwegian stone, but again, all of that texture that's layered through, the different feel, and I must say, having that classy bit of artwork really does set the tone to make this a showroom piece for you. But we did say that there was something extra, and if you actually have a look over here where you can see they carried on this beautiful wall and the paneling, it's absolutely sensational. But where are you going to put all of your ski wear? Right in your private, secure bunker ski room. So now inside your bunker ski room, and the reason why I kind of called it a bunker is because the way that they actually had to create this, because we're inside the mountain right now, is they actually had to not excavate, but more blow up part of the mountain to create this space. But you can see you've got ample room for all of your skis, your poles, your snowboards, plenty of space to hang jackets, store your boots. You've got your boot dryers, boot warmers, beautiful lighting all around. And check this out. You've even got a workstation here. So when you need to strip the wax off and re-wax on the skis, look, you've got a built-in extractor here, so it's taking all of the nasty fumes and things away. And on top of all of that, they've even thought about giving you some extra storage, so when you've got all of your suitcases and the extra bits from your travel, you can hide them away and then you don't have to think about them until you're ready to leave. Now, at the beginning, we did say that this cabin is available to purchase. Now, if you were looking to buy that from Norway, it's going to be around 48 million krone. If you're going to be buying it from Europe, it's just over 4 million euros, and for the UK, just over 3.5 million. Now, if like me, you're already looking at the Ferrari and thinking, do you know what, that really just sets this cabin off, you can add this in as well. Now, that would be an additional 8 million krone, or just over 670,000 euros, or just over 580,000 pounds. So definitely something to think about. But let's go and check out the rest of this cabin. Now, as we come back into the entrance hallway of the cabin, there's a few details that I want to start to point out, and these are little accents that you're going to see throughout this tour. For example, the handles on the storage, they could have just used brushed steel, but they didn't. They've used handcrafted, hand-stitched dark brown leather, which actually ties in to the handle on the front of the door. Beautiful LED lights that come on automatically when you open. Opposite the storage, you've got a downstairs WC. A really unique feature that they've gone with throughout the entire cabin is this: magnetic latches. So if you notice, everything on the inside of the door is completely flush, but when you go to close the door, that magnetic latch, it instantly comes across, and now you can't open the door. How fantastic is that? As you move into that open plan living space, you've got these beautiful steel doors, and they are exquisite, allowing you to look through and have that beautiful view of that communal area. But what I really like is how when you open, both of them glide effortlessly at the same time as you're moving through. And something that they've really thought about with this property is that combination of various different tactile materials that they're using, from the leather, the steel, the Norwegian stone. And you can see that throughout the property as we move in. Now, when you come into the open plan living space, I think the first thing that really kind of grabs my attention and strikes me is this beautiful, one-of-a-kind, only ever to be seen in this cabin, chandelier, sculpture, art installation. It's such an amalgamation of so many different things, but it really is visually striking and a beautiful feature which is only for you here. And every single one of those twists was actually crafted from bronze, hand sanded and twisted. But one of the next things that I've got to draw your attention to, which I know you're going to have seen, is that beautiful unrestricted view. Now, LHM are renowned for the glazing that they've got in their properties, because it makes such a visual difference. Because when you have that unrestricted view, and those views are breathtaking, you don't want anything hindering that. And this actually measures 3.15 meters tall and 2.3 meters wide. You've got these amazing panels either side as well, and even the balcony outside, unrestricted, so you never have to worry about something interfering with that beautiful view that you've got here. Now, obviously, in the heart of any cabin, you need to have a really good roaring fire, and this is an exquisite fire, but it does look like it needs a little extra log adding on, so I might just have to do my duties. And one of the things that I really like, and that kind of that strikes me about just how fantastic this is that combination between the beautiful dark stone that you've got, and you can also see the different textures. You've got these vertical lines again that kind of match into the rest of the property, and then this natural textured feel, but contrasting towards this bronze accented color all the way around, and even onto the bookcases either side. It encourages that cozy feel in the cabin. For me, it's beautifully done. Something that I really love is the freedom and accessibility that you've got around the cabin. The uninterrupted nature of being able to move around. Normally, you'd have these giant pillars that would be supporting the upper floor, but the architects have decided to use an incredible amount of steel and then hide that behind the pine, so you don't have that obstruction, one, in your freedom to move around and roam around your cabin, but also in the views across. And that's also kind of replicated here with the staircase. Now, the staircase is in the middle of the cabin, and what LHM have done so fantastically is use this abundance of glass to allow light to freely move around the space, but also visually you can see through and to what is going to be one of my favorite areas of the cabin, and I can't wait to show you that later on. But it's just an amazing way that they've used the functionality of the space but kept a real elegance and opulence within it as well. Okay, so let's move through into one of the most fun areas for most people, the dining and kitchen kind of area. Now, you can see that you've got this enormous, over 3 meter dining table set out for 10 people. And for me, it is kind of crying out for a dinner party. But if I could try and persuade you, I'd say maybe go for a tasting menu with a wine pairing using your lovely wine lounge that I'm calling it over at the side that we'll show you. But this is also brushed oak that you've got here. So it's got that tactile feel to it as well, which for me really accentuates the cozy vibes, but the encouragement to use this as a proper home. But come through into the kitchen with me, because these little accents that I spoke about when we first came into the property, you see them throughout the entire place. So vertical lines have been a big feature, and you can see that in the woodwork underneath the kitchen top here. You can see it in the back of the kitchen cabinetry as well. And by the way, that cabinetry matches and ties in with those dining tables, that dark tinted glass that you've got. Obviously, all of your appliances are Gaggenau, which is fantastic. You've got 2 Gaggenau ovens, one of which is also a combination steam oven. You've got a vacuum sealing drawer here, so if you did have that wonderful dinner party and there's a few leftovers that you really don't want to go to waste and you want to keep them for yourself next time, you can use this to make sure that you keep your food nice and secure. And on the next door oven just below that, you've got a plate warming drawer as well. You've also got your Gaggenau coffee machine, and these are all the latest models from the Gaggenau range. And then when you move around the island that you've got, and it is a beautifully exquisite island, wonderful, easy push open drawers with that LED lighting integrated in there as well. And everything is that soft close, which we love. Something else that I really like in the kitchen is you've got a Dombrand faucet setup, but something really special is that you've also got this, the ability to have instant boiling water off this as well, so you don't have to wait for that cup of tea or to get your washing up on the go if you needed to. Now, moving across to the island, you've got the Gaggenau cooker. What I really like is how this is integrated seamlessly into the worktop, so it's completely smooth. Obviously, the extractor is inside the center as well, so again, no obstruction from views. I really do like how they've laid the kitchen out, really spacious. And something which is quite special and unique, if, for example, you've been out on the slopes and you were enjoying a few frivolities and you happen to, I don't know, lean into your fridge and then you forget that you've actually leant into your fridge, it automatically shuts and closes for you, so you never have to worry. But what you've really got is a fantastic storage space in here. So your Gaggenau fridge, I love that you can see into those drawers of death, normally at the bottom where the food that never mentions never appears. You've also got the freezer underneath, which again, push open and it opens up into your freezer space, lighting, and you've got the drawer spaces in there too. Additional storage that you've got in here as well, and I do like that you can see into the drawers, how everything's really meticulously laid out, and again, that soft close, bloom soft close, just makes everything super functional. But come with me because I really want to show you my favorite part of the cabin, and it's what I am calling the wine lounge. Now you do have two chilled fridges down the bottom for your white wines, your bubbles. You've also got a beautiful vertical storage for your red wine, plenty of space for spirits above, all the glasses that you could possibly want. It really has been finished beautifully. Again, those leather accents that match and marry up across the entire cabin. And what I like is if you've got a particularly special bottle, you can put it in its own little compartment at the bottom of the glasses. But let me start taking you through so we can really experience what it's going to be like to sleep in this cabin. Come with me. Now, as we're walking through to the bedroom, which is on the ground floor, don't worry, just in case you're thinking, am I going to have cold feet if I need to nip to the kitchen for a glass of water? Because you've got underfloor heating throughout the entire ground floor. But before we get to the bedroom, you'll notice that on the left-hand side here, we've actually got the utility space with Gaggenau washer and dryer included. Plenty of storage space in here as well. Before you get to the bedroom though, you might be thinking that you need to unwind, to try to relax before you get into bed. Well, the bathroom directly opposite has got the perfect way to do that with this wonderful Finnish sauna that's included. And the sauna is not just any sauna, because if you felt like you needed a really quick heat up or relaxation before bed, you've got 4 infrared panels in the back, and then you've actually got this icky sauna which you could use if you wanted a proper heat up session. And there's even access directly out the door if you wanted to nip into the jacuzzi, have that hot cold feel for a bit of a relaxation. Something I really want to draw your attention to though is actually this vanity and sink that we've got over here, because something that the designer has done incredibly well is use this fantastic water tap from the ceiling. It's a striking piece that really showcases the thought process that's gone into making every space unique, so everyone has a fantastic experience when you're in here. Those soft accented touches of the leather handles as well, the beautiful mirrors that you've got behind. It's an exquisite space. But come on, let's go through to that downstairs bedroom so you can see what you've got. So when you come into this ground floor bedroom, the first thing that you notice is that unobstructed view. You should normally have a column in the corner which would inhibit that view, and it would mean you can only really face from one direction, but you don't have that. What they've done is give you an entire corner of glass, which is just breathtaking for overlooking those beautiful views. Now, I also really like how you've got these autumnal kind of colours that have been tied into the decor of this particular room. And they've even come up with a really clever and ingenious way of having a secret little bit of storage inside the bedside tables. But when you turn right from coming into the bedroom, you come down to a walk-through wardrobe that we've got with ample storage for whoever's going to be in here, and even additional storage right up at the top if you wanted to leave blankets or any extra bedding, something like that. Moving through though, you can go into the ensuite, which has got a beautiful walk-in shower, a wonderful little kind of vanity shelf to be able to put all of your gels and perfumes and things. And I do like how they've tied in that contemporary vertical line feel, even with the tiles in here, but broken it up with those diagonal ones set inside of the shelf. And again, you can't not like the soft close feature on everything in here. Now, realistically, I think that this downstairs bedroom is going to become your primary suite, because you're kind of removed from everyone else. If the kids are here, they're going to be upstairs out of the way. If friends are here, again, they can all be upstairs. But you've also got this direct access out onto the terrace, where you could have the most romantic experience, just jumping into the jacuzzi, the candlelight, maybe a glass of champagne, overlooking that breathtaking view maybe even seeing a few people down the slopes. Earlier on when we were here, we had the most spectacular sunset, and I think that's something that this terrace really allows you to experience and become part of. There's nothing more magical than experiencing sunrise and sunset. These unrestricted views, because of these glass balustrades, the beautiful wide width that you've got here, that Norwegian stone that's laid throughout, the ample space that you've got to explore. And don't forget that you can use this all year round. So if you wanted to have an amazing barbecue out here in the summertime, why not? What an amazing experience. Even if you wanted to have a winter barbecue, why not? It's your cabin. Treat it as you would treat your home, because this is your home. Even if you wanted just to sit out here with a cozy hot chocolate looking up at the stars. Now, let's go and head upstairs to explore the rest of the cabin. A dominant feature is the staircase that's in the middle of the cabin. Now, before I actually start talking about the staircase, I want to just take a moment to talk about the flooring. First, you can notice that you've got these beautifully wide 23 centimetre planks, and they're glued down to the concrete base. The reason that's done is so there's no movement in them, but also because the underfloor heating is geothermal, which means it's drawing the heat from within the earth, which makes it incredibly efficient, but also incredibly cost effective. And that's something that we all like. If you're not in the market for the entire cabin itself, but you do really like the particular staircase, the sister company to LHM, LHM Step, also will be able to manufacture one of these for you if you wanted it in your own home. So I'll make sure that we put the links in the descriptions below. Now, something about this particular staircase that really takes my attention is these wonderful leather inlays that are completely flush to the front of every single step, and those LED lights that are hidden underneath the steps that kind of guide you all the way up to the bedrooms, and the way that this glass almost looks like it's slicing through the edge of the staircase. Now we're coming up to the first floor, but just before we finish with that staircase, if you were interested in it and you'd like to have one yourself, they are available across Europe and also in the USA. Likewise with any of the cabinetry and furnishings as well. If you did want to have one of your own cabins made, they're available here in Norway or in the USA. But let's check out the rest of this place. When you come up to the top of the stairs, the room that's immediately in front of you is this wonderfully utilized kind of nook of space, which has been transformed into a wonderful little office area. Now, if you do have to be doing a little bit of work while you're on holiday or something, okay, you might have to, but you still get the opportunity to look out of this kind of beautiful aperture window so you could break up the day. Maybe it's that you're doing a little bit of writing here, and something that's a really lovely touch is that they've tied in those natural materials again with this beautiful leather been inset into the actual desk for yourself, which keeps that connection between contemporary and rustic charm. Now, there are two bedrooms off the office space up here, so let's take a look at the first one. Now, the first bedroom that we come to on the upper floor is incredibly relaxing to begin with. That's the thing that I really noticed. These rooms, they almost encourage you to drop that stress out from the shoulders. Even that you've got low seating, it's encouraging you to get down to that bed level. But if this was first thing in the morning and you wanted to sit, enjoy the view, have a coffee while maybe your partner's still in bed or something like that, it really encourages that relaxation feel. And something else that's quite quirky about this is the bedside lamps. Completely magnetic, so if you want to change around, or if one of you's reading, if you want to turn the lights on and off, you've got the switches on the top, on the bottom. But I think that's just really interesting how you can adapt that space, the lighting, to suit whatever mood you need. It's really clever. But let's go and take a look at the next bedroom. The second bedroom that we've got on the top floor is a little similar in the styling, but the colour palette completely different, which offers a different feel, but still has that sumptuous relaxation that we're looking for. And something else that really draws me and captures these little integrated shelves, but with that subtle, soft LED lighting hidden into the side. All of the bedrooms upstairs really encourage deep relaxation, cozy rustic vibes, and they just scream sleep, jump into bed, have a relaxating time away. Now this is the second of the en-suites that we've got. In this ensuite, you've got a walk-in shower with the waterfall rainfall head and a separate hose shower attachment too. But let's go and take a look at the balcony section. As you move back through into the open space from the top of the staircase, a few things that really stand out. For me, number one is what looks like one seamless panel of glass and this balcony, but the joins are actually hidden behind these two pillars here, but they offer you completely unobstructed views. Other things that you'll notice when we're actually up here is that we've changed to that traditional style of log setting, which are all hand carved. Downstairs we had the different vertical boards of varying widths, which kind of simulate and recreate the natural world outside. I mean, you never go into a forest and see trees of all shapes and sizes exactly the same, do you? They're all different. So trying to tie all of these elements together to create something special and unique, LHM have become absolute craftsmen at. And also upstairs in this particular area, you've got two wonderful little cozy areas where you could sit and read a book and have a quiet moment yourself, or you could even, if you wanted to, pour yourself a little tipple if you're still feeling a bit cold when you've come back off the slopes. But there are two more rooms that I want to show you up here and an exquisite bathroom that you're not going to want to miss. So let's check out the last and final bedroom. You'll notice that this one has obviously a TV in here as well. You've got this wonderful featured shelf which is made of beautiful stone, and you've got vertical lines carved into the back set of stone on here as well. Extra storage underneath with the LED lighting that comes in and that soft close, and the same feature inside the wardrobe space that you've got here as well. And it's even got an extra trick up its sleeve in that it's not just a feature shelf, it's actually a smokeless fire, because all of this is actually water vapor that you've got, but you could still have the most romantic evening in here. I can't resist anymore. Oh, that's a good bed. Now, as we come out right next door, you've got the most exquisite bathroom, which I cannot wait to show you. And when you come into the bathroom, you've obviously got your walk-in shower here. You've got a double vanity, which is fantastic if you want multiple people in here. But the real showstopper has got to be this bathtub. Now, a few things I wanted to point out. Number one, you've got Dombrack tap here, which is actually floor standing, and then a freestanding bath. But if you have a look, you've got this beautiful inset gravel and lighting. So again, it's drawing the outside, that nature inside. So you could almost feel like you are having that nature's bath outside, but you are actually, in fact, in the most elegant and luxurious of bathrooms. Now, there is one final room that I do need to show you up here, and it's quite possibly the coziest room in the entire cabin. Now let's move into the final room of the cabin, which is this, the room that I think of as the Snug. This is kind of the animated room. This is where maybe you're going to be watching TV, playing games. This is maybe the room where the kids are going to come and spend most of their time if you wanted them to be up and out of the way. But before that, I just want to point out and show you a little feature. Take a look at this. Inside the back, what the designer has done has even used these natural cracks that you see appearing across all of these beams that we have in the build up here, and accentuated that by making a crack to reveal the actual cracks behind, and then highlighting that with another hidden LED light. It really is a fantastic use and showcase of just what nature has provided us. Now, you've also got integrated speakers throughout the entire cabin, and they're set up in a range of different ways that you can have different zones. So you could have music playing the same throughout the whole place, or different music in different areas depending who's here. Maybe you're going to get ready to go on the slopes and you've got different music that you want to listen to. But you can also see that you've got 4 additional beds in this one room. So you could utilize this as maybe the kids' room, or it could be just that extra storage if you've got a big group of friends coming over. Now, something that I've got to point out is these are actually supposed to be single beds, but I'm 5'10", and you can see that you could quite happily have two of me, or you could have another set of couples in here if you wanted to. Now this is an incredible space, but I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a moment to chill out, maybe read a bit of a book, or I might even just catch up on the latest episode. So I'm going to catch up with you guys in a little bit. I hope you liked the episode, and if you were taken by this cabin or the staircase that was featured in here, both of them are available to purchase right now. The links will be in the description box below. If you did like this episode, I know that you're going to love this one. We filmed it with LHM on their first project in the USA recently. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.
On this channel, we've had the honour of featuring some of the most luxurious homes around the globe, and today we're in Montana in the United States of America, and I think we have found one of our favourites yet.
Think European Scandinavian design meets the American market. We can't wait to introduce you to this cabin.